Good morning, future self. I've been doing quarantine makeup. Oh, I am talking to myself. It's okay. It happens. Did I just put on glam makeup because my face has to be visible in the meeting for 5 minutes? Yes. Thank you. I went, there's a style of someone wearing like under eye bag accentuating colors, so that is what I tried to do. So quarantine. Where's that kitten? Where is that fat kitten?
What?
Where's the fat kitten?
She's right here.
Lola, you want a bath? Do you want a bath, Nito Burrito? Yeah. She's hungry. She just wants to eat that lunch.
Go inside the camera.
It's rude. I viewed yourself. I'm sitting in the bathtub because I'm having a problem. I know we're in quarantine and all we can think about is Corona, but I'm having this problem where my hands and feet go numb. Even though I wear wool socks and gloves all the time. It's really annoying and don't like it. And one of the only ways to get rid of it is to soak my hands and feet in hot water. So that's what we're doing. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, future self. Everything is okay. We've been officially... Steve is making noises. We've been officially stay-at-home, quarantined, whatever you want to call it, social distancing for a week, which means for me it's been almost 3 weeks. I guess over 2 weeks. It's between 2 and 3 weeks. It's been over 2 weeks. Because the week before I had 1,000 migraines. The staying at home part is like fairly easy for me. Tonight I made brown rice and coconut and stewed carrots and dal and turmeric scrambly eggs with a like pumpkin oil drizzle. So good. It's very mild. Not hot. The thing that's been hard so far about Corona for me is there's just like nothing feels restful. Everything just feels like so yeah, it's been very hard to like but I've been meditating an hour a day for a week now. Which is nice. Like I've never been able to like spark the practice before in such an intense way, and I'm really enjoying it. It gives me like a puzzle challenge thing I'm not so good at to do and practice. But yeah, it's been okay. Husband, how has the quarantine been for you?
How's what?
Quarantine.
How's it been? I mean, it's not technically a quarantine.
Okay, I'm sorry to be extremely technical and have way too many syllables.
The shelter-in-place order?
Yeah, how has it been for you?
Has it been?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, what is it? Is it
Well, the menu is fabulous.
the menu? We have been cooking a lot. I mean, we always cook a lot, though.
Actually, that was just a joke. The menu's limited a little bit compared to usual, but it's not really a big change for me, to be honest with you. I'm already an introvert, so an indoor kid. I mean, it's not like I'm agoraphobic, but
We used Instacart for the first time.
yeah, I didn't really like it that much, so.
That's true. We tried Instacart, and after like we ordered from like a few different stores, which means a few different deliveries. And after the first or second one, we were like, maybe not.
Yeah. I mean,
the
okay.
drivers are perfectly nice, and like it's fine,
not
but it's just like it's kind of a weird experience. So I just have to make sure that I get as much of this cuteness as possible. Look at that. Look at that cuteness. Bye, future self. Hi, future self. I definitely got the Vive Pro set up all entirely by myself. And I definitely knew that the problem was being caused by the fact that it has an invisible power button that is completely unlabeled. And I did it entirely by myself. What's that face?
And also an invisible power adapter that has to be plugged in.
I might be slightly stressed out by the Ronas. Ronas? You butthole. Thank you, butthole. Importantly, gaze upon this visage. Gaze upon this abouts to be a kimchi visage.
That's a face?
Look how pretty it is. I can eat all of it.
I think it's actually going to be a challenge getting this into the home gate. I might not be able to.
Hello, future self. Hopefully it is recording. Yes, it is. Congratulations to my own self for knowing how to use a microphone. So, today I wanted to basically experiment with getting out in a different way. So this is Google Earth VR, and I believe this is by Elk Mountain, and I just found this dirt road and decided to follow it, and I followed it for a really long time, probably 20 minutes of just following this road along all of its curves. And I, of course, had the daytime set to my preference, which is this sort of like dusky night. Not all the way dark, but pretty close. it's such a strange feeling to feel like I have visited a place that I've never been. This is just a picture of a place. But it got me thinking about tourism in general. And how satisfied people can be or would be with virtual tourism, given the travel industry being the first and so far the deepest to be really affected by the pandemic. So I wanted to try it on myself and see what it brings up. Like, what does looking back at this footage as like my only documentation of having, quote unquote, visited this place. You might be able to hear Callie in the background having her lunch. So if there's crunching noises, that's what they're coming from. So me now looking back at this sort of like visiting footage, I do kind of have that feeling of like remembering this event, remembering this exploration. It gives me, sort of warm tinglies about a place that I would never go. This is far, far outside my ability to travel. This is kind of the level of rural travel happening here is not something that my body can really do. But this quiet nighttime jaunt made me feel that, at least for me, recognizing that, of course, travel has a huge impact in the environment, and plane travel especially has a huge carbon footprint, that I have really limited in the past few years, like, my access to travel at all. So this kind of tourism type travel for joy and for exploration, I definitely get that feeling here. I definitely get that feeling of I got to explore a place all by myself with no one else in it, which is always the thing that tourists are trying to get, right? You're trying to get this experience of a place without the crowds. And this is a way to do that. This is like a real way to feel like you've gotten the sort of sense of the place. And of course, a lot of places depend on tourism for money, and this is only a picture of a place. So there are some downsides for those economies. But I wonder sort of how we can use this to sort of give ourselves the globe without the deep repercussions of carbon for travel and for really unnecessary travel. So yeah, I mean, coronavirus has changed a lot of things, and I think this is a deep moment of trauma for the global society, and this is not something we can fix quickly, or not something I'm advocating for all people. I'm not trying to say that like everyone has access to this hardware, the software, the bandwidth required to do this. But I think that the people who spend the most carbon on travel do have access to the level of resources required to participate in this. And it is our responsibility to think about how we spend those resources. So yeah, that's my ramble. Bye, future self. Good morning, future self. Just crying and reading the paper. You know, good old-fashioned Corona Sunday. This whole piece is about how city officials have turned into sprinters. And like all the work they've been doing to get more beds and hire more nurses and move homeless people into a Moscone Center and just like fuck all the haters. Supervisor Hillary Ronan. We just haven't been acting like ourselves lately, and during an emergency, we remember who we are. The data currently seems like, at least in San Francisco and the Bay Area, where we declared a state of emergency really early, like end of February, and made shelter in place mandatory, like the first in the country. It does actually seem like we're not seeing a huge spike in cases and overwhelming the healthcare industry or healthcare workers. So far, at least, things are okay here. We shall see, but it does seem like people are working together to stop this thing. So I can't say much for the rest of the country, but at least in our little corner, we still have pooches. I kind of love pooches. This is a nose. This is a nose right here. Yes. This is the sweetest little pooches in the whole world. Oh, he's a sweet pooch. Look at that. Look at that, dogs.